600 poker players, $1.5 million, and only one winner. If you like those odds, you're going to love the World Series of Poker.
This is it. This is the World Series, baby.
From the poker faces to the winning aces, it's hardcore Las Vegas. We'll meet the outlaws, the risk takers, the hotshots, and the cool competitors who shoot it out at the biggest poker tournament on the planet. So sit down, ante up, and join us for the World Series of Poker. Irresistible Las Vegas, Nevada. Not since the gold rush has the West seen so many people hoping to strike it rich. 35 million tourists a year stampede the city with one thing on their minds: getting lucky. In a city with hordes of casinos, it's easy to score, and score big. Whether you're a big-time high roller or a weekend slot player, the name of the game is to win and beat the odds. Sure, you can pop $1 in a slot machine to win your fortune, but if you play the odds, poker is the one casino game that offers gamblers a fighting chance. If poker is your game, then this is your ultimate fantasy. For over 3 decades, Binion's Horseshoe Casino has been home to the World Series of Poker. Follow the glow to the famous Fremont Street Light Show, and you can't miss Binion's, where the atmosphere inside is just as electric. Every year, the world's best poker players ride into town for the biggest poker shootout in the world, and a chance to win $1.5 million. That's right, 1.5 million simoleons. That's more than you'd win at Wimbledon, the Kentucky Derby, or the Masters. But if you want a shot at this money, like all things in Vegas, you have to be willing to take a risk. Entry fee for the World Series of Poker? 10 G's.
Okay, here we go. Okay, good luck.
Even so, players will gladly fork over $10,000 for a chance at greatness. But with all these players, it's a bit of a long shot, even for a pro.
It's like going to the gallows, you know. I mean, get me to the gallows, let's get it over with. But no, I feel good.
To win, you've got to outlast more than 600 competitors with the same goal. It's 5 days of psychological pummeling and physical exhaustion. And all this for a simple game of cards? To these players, poker is as important as, well, just about anything.
Poker is like sex in a myriad of ways. The most obvious one to me is that winning just feels so good.
That might explain some of the excitement.
This is the one everybody wants to win. And I think when this is over, this is when the new poker year starts for everyone. When it's the 1 year to the next World Series. That's how big it is. This is like New Year's Eve, Christmas, birthday party, everything all put in one.
They come from everywhere to play in the World Series. You can spot the best of the best from Vietnam, Spain, just about every country where they play poker.
Ja, herzlich willkommen zur World Series of Poker hier in Las Vegas.
Every player shares one goal: survive. Over the course of 5 days, this room full of players will be whittled down to a single table of 9 players. If you lose your chips, you're out for good. If you're lucky enough to make it to the final table, you get to play for $1.5 million and the right to wear the bracelet that IDs the world's greatest poker player.
I like both the bracelet and the $1.5 million. The prestige is fantastic. Money's pretty good too.
Chris should know. He won it all last year and is back for another shot. That's him buried behind the shades, hat, and hair. In poker circles, Ferguson is known as Jesus.
I'd like to think it's because of my personality, but I'm afraid it's because of my looks.
Chris is confident, but he's also realistic.
Well, over the last 30 years, 4 people have repeated as champions, so for that reason I like my chances, but I still got to beat 600 people, and that's very difficult to do.
Ferguson definitely needs to watch out for this guy, TJ Cloutier. Many consider TJ to be the best in the world. Although he lost to Ferguson last year, it didn't change his mind about the World Series.
There's nothing like it. I mean, you got the highest buy-in tournaments all the way through it. Everybody comes from all over the world. It's the best marketed tournament in the world, and it always will be. And it's the best run tournament. I mean, everything about it is number one.
As the fans and players continue to stream into an already packed house, casino owner Becky Bennon gets the tournament underway.
Okay, gentlemen, shuffle the cards and let's get started.
There are as many different types of poker as there are poker players. But if you want to play in the World Series, you've got to master a game called No Limit Texas Hold'em. The fastest and the most volatile poker game on the planet. No limit means you can bet all of your chips anytime, doubling your money or losing it all on one hand of cards.
No Limit's a Cadillac. I mean, there's more moves. No other poker game even comes close to it. Because you don't have to have a hand to win. You can play the player. This is real poker.
Here's a slow look at Texas Hold'em. Each player is dealt 2 cards face down. Based on those cards, betting begins. Then the dealer lays out a number of cards face up to be shared by all players. The first 3 cards are dealt at once. This is called the flop, and another round of betting follows. A 4th, the turn card, is dealt, followed by more betting. Then a 5th card is dealt. This is the river card, and the last round of betting follows here. Now, all the players try to make the best hand out of their 2 cards and any of the 5 cards in front of the dealer.
Anybody can learn the mathematics of poker, and anybody can learn the probabilities. What really separates the good players from the very good and great players is an understanding of people. And Texas Hold'em, the no limit variety, is less about cards and more about people.
I've played them all at some time, or if I hadn't, I'll learn how they play in 15 minutes when I'm sitting with them, and I won't forget. I know what it means when somebody breaks their chips a certain way or anything. I mean, you get it down to a pretty fine science.
Players win Texas Hold'em with the standard poker hands. 1 pair is lowest. Then comes 2 pair. 3 of a kind. A straight, which is any 5 cards in sequential order. A flush, any 5 of 1 suit. A full house, that's 3 of a kind in a pair. 4 of a kind. A straight flush, all 5 cards in numerical order and the same suit. And the best hand of all, the royal flush that starts with an ace. Now the odds of getting one of those is 44,000 to 1. Okay, you're ready to play in the World Series of Poker. And if that's your level of skill, boy, they'd love to have you.
Poker players fancy themselves free spirits, outlaws, mainly because they don't work for a living in a traditional job. But furthermore, I think part of that free spirit outlaw idea is that poker players have to be con men.
Michael Connick has played in 4 World Series of Poker, and his new book, Telling Lies and Getting Paid, gets into the mind games and motivations of the high-stakes poker world.
To win a tournament like the World Series of Poker, you've got to tell an awful lot of lies. And only in the poker world are you rewarded for being an expert liar.
Gee, that nice man wouldn't lie to you, would he? Wake up. Chris would bluff you out of your last chip and you'd never see it coming.
A lot of players wear sunglasses, and the main idea is to hide your eyes, but people are going to be looking at you and they're going to be trying to figure out what you're thinking. Another reason I like to wear sunglasses is because it allows me to look around the table and watch other players without them knowing I'm watching them. So that's actually often very useful.
In less than 2 hours, players are starting to get picked off one by one. And this year, it's the pros that are getting shot down early. Like Annie Duke. She's probably the best women's poker player in the world, but not today. In the first hour of play, Annie bets all her chips on what she thinks is a winning hand. It isn't. She loses all of her chips, and she's finished until next year. Just like that.
Well, the fact that it's no limit makes it very interesting, and because it's no limit, all your chips are at risk on every hand. So any small mistake you make might cost you your entire stack.
And in the game of no-limit Texas Hold'em, anyone can make a mistake. Poker Hall of Famer T.J. Cloutier bets all of his chips on a pair of kings, only to find out that his opponent has aces.
You 4% on me? I got kings. You got aces? Again? Again? Unbelievable.
So on the first day, one of the greatest players in the world is out of the tournament. And it's a long walk out of the room when all the players are watching. And TJ's not the only one. At another table, the story is the same. Just like TJ, Michael Connick bets it all on a pair of kings, only to lose to a pair of aces.
I thought if TJ is going to lose with kings versus aces, I'm certainly not a good enough man to throw away the kings versus the aces if TJ couldn't.
The two pros take a few moments to commiserate outside the hall.
I moved in myself.
Oh well.
Hope we didn't bring.
But still, TJ is philosophical.
I mean, hell, I've probably won more than anybody, and I've been knocked out zillions of times. You know, I mean, take it like a man and go on to the next one. That's all. Shouldn't bother you.
With the first of this 5-day marathon event not yet over, an unusually large number of seasoned veterans have bit the dust. When the first day finally does end, 230 of the 613 starters will be gone, and over $2 million will have been forfeited. Now, the old pros may be falling fast, but there are just as many long shots eager to fill their seats. Players are starting to notice the play of a newcomer named Steve Reilly, who goes by the nickname Country.
I'm learning better how to read people. I'm getting better at it. I'm not great, but I've been practicing and I've been doing real well lately. I hope I can do good. I hope I can get lucky at the right time.
Country's definitely a long shot, but at the World Series of Poker, you just never know who will end up at the final table. In Las Vegas, it seems that anything is possible. What else would you expect from this city that defies all odds to rise as a neon oasis in the middle of the desert? There are games for the young and old, the conservative and the daring. Every kind of player comes to Vegas to take a shot. Today, inside Binion's Horseshoe Casino, hundreds of poker players are hoping to defy the odds. Every year, hundreds of the best poker players in the world ride into town for a shot at gambling's most prestigious title, champion of the World Series of Poker. And this year, it looks like anyone can win. In a matter of hours, some of the best poker players in the world have been knocked out of the tournament. And newcomers, like Country, are looking for a foot in the door.
It's certainly a highlight of my career so far, up to this point. Like I said, I've never entered the main event, and I'm really excited to be in.
Country is definitely not your typical high-stakes gambler. This Harley-riding electrician will have to earn his respect at the World Series of Poker. And it doesn't come easy.
But this is also the tournament with the most dead money in it. And dead money is people that have absolutely no chance to win it. So you figure half the field has absolutely no chance to win.
Yeah, players like me without a track record in poker are considered dead money in a tournament like this. They don't think we have any chance of winning. So even though we're in the tournament, they figure our money would be gone eventually, and then the top players would win. I hope I prove them wrong.
To prove them wrong, he'll need a miracle. Over the next 5 days, hundreds of players will duke it out for a chance to sit at the final table.
This event is an incredibly grueling event because there's a lot of stress, and we're playing for 5 days this year. I'm not sure how long we're going to be playing the first couple days, but I think we're going to be playing at least 8 hours a day, and probably the third day may go 10 or 12 hours or even 14 hours. So it's very intense because you could lose all your money on any given hand. So you got to stay sharp for 4-5 straight days. It's really tough.
In no time, last year's champ finds out just how tough it is.
I really never got started at all, so I never had any chips. I didn't have much of a chance. But, that's the way it goes some years.
As the days roll on, the losers are shown the door, and the winners celebrate. It's a house full of hopefuls and full of characters like Men Win, who is known as the Master.
Men the Master is the American success story. A Vietnamese boat person who came to the land of opportunity and made a fortune for himself at the poker tables.
I'm very lucky. Also, I came to this country with empty hands. When I first came, I only know how to say, I'm hungry.
And he's sort of known as the godfather of the Vietnamese poker players who have become an extraordinary force in tournament poker.
Men has been hanging on by his fingernails with a very small stack of chips. In a gutsy move, he went all in with a pair of threes and doubled his money. But moments later, his hopes end abruptly.
There's nothing I can do. It's just a game, you know. I want to cry, but hey, it's the game. But it's still Man the Master. It's nothing gonna change me. I'm happy. I make a lot of money here, so I'm very happy. Go home happy too.
The Master is out, but guess who's still in?
You can tell I'm here a couple days longer than I thought I'd be. I'm running out of clothes.
As the tables empty, the crowds get bigger, the pressure increases, and the trash talk flies.
Every time you go against me, I mark my hands good hands last time. I just said I have a set 3. That's what I say. See, I show you one card, okay? If I don't lie to you, I lie to you, okay? You got it? Now you believe me? Want to see another card? There you go. All right, no problem.
It may not be the Wild West anymore, but the insults still fly like bullets.
You came to me and tried to have peace, but now you've shown me you want war. You got it.
A pair of sixes?
Yeah, I had you
I've raised 3 flop representing an ace.
I knew you didn't have
an ace flops, and I bet it, and you want to raise.
You didn't have any.
The man doing the talking is Phil Hellmuth Jr. Now, he can talk big because he's one of the best in the world.
I know how everybody plays. I've played with them all by now. I know exactly what they're liable to do. I'm not afraid of anyone. You'd have to be insane not to be afraid of me in a no-limit tournament.
I am afraid. Phil is the greatest. I am afraid.
Country wisely stays out of the fray. He keeps his head down, sticks to his game plan, and rides his good luck streak.
My good luck charm is my daughter's footprint. I carry that with me everywhere I go.
By day 4, there are only 5 tables and 45 players left. Now, everyone that makes it this far is in the money because payout starts at 20 grand for 45th place.
Most of the people playing in this tournament are not playing with the expectation that they will win the first prize. A lot of people are happy just to win 45th place, which is a wonderful payday.
I'm going to buy a new pair of boots. If I win any more, I'm going to buy a new Harley.
Right now, that Harley seems a little unlikely. Country's chips are dwindling, so he's forced to bet it all. He watches the dealer, and his pair of jacks holds up. Boom! He doubles his chips with a gutsy move.
Now I can breathe.
Fun. Way to go, Steve.
Thanks.
When there are only 2 tables left, players start to count heads as they try to hold on just a little longer. The pressure is incredible. Poker faces quickly give way to outbursts. Cool competitor Juan Carlos Mortensen from Spain has a huge stack of chips, but he thinks carefully and decides to fold.
Good, buddy.
He is furious with himself when he realizes he's been bluffed. Others see their dreams go up in smoke, burned by all-in calls that go wrong. Finally, there are only 10 left. Arturo Diaz carefully contemplates his options. He decides to go all in against Juan Carlos. He doesn't get the card he needs, and he's out. The remaining 9 players are ecstatic. They are now part of a very select club, the final table at the World Series of Poker.
8 and me. I'm excited. Happy.
Country gets some free advice from last year's champ, Chris Ferguson. Then he heads to the bar to unwind and think about his good fortune. Meanwhile, tournament officials collect and count each competitor's chips. They're sealed and impounded at the close of each day. Country's stake going into the last round is $407,000. Only one of the final 9 will start with less. Even so...
Me too. God, I'm so happy. So thrilled.
Country may be thrilled, but he'll be facing some seasoned pros at the final table. Phil Hellmuth is considered the favorite by many, including himself.
I'm supposed to be the best Hold'em player in the world, and now I have a chance to prove it tomorrow, so it's a very big day for me. I mean, I'm just focused in on all the players, I'm zoned in, I'm playing great.
Phil sounds confident, but anything can happen in an event this big. In Las Vegas, as the saying goes, size matters. Vegas has the biggest hotels, the biggest convention centers, and probably the biggest electrical bill west of the Atlantic. In Vegas, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing. There are big-time gamblers and big-time thrills galore. More casinos, golf courses, and stage shows. In Las Vegas, less is never more. And every year at Binion's Horseshoe Casino, the world's biggest poker tournament is held for the world's biggest cash prize, $1.5 million. After 4 grueling days of poker, a casino full of hopefuls has been whittled down to 9 poker pros, each with steely eyes on the ultimate prize. For a fan, getting a seat in the World Series of Poker gallery, especially for final table play, is like having a skybox at the Super Bowl.
I'm here every year. I wouldn't miss it for the world.
Oh, it's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
For the 9 players left in the tournament, it all comes down to this: the famed final table of the World Series of Poker. And if getting here was tough, hanging on will be tougher.
Outlasting 600 and something people is certainly a thrill, but getting through the last 9, it makes you a little nervous. Makes you think a little bit more.
Harley riding country roared through the early rounds. But there are 8 standing between country and his goal. In seat 1 is Phil Gordon. Gordon's biggest fan is his mother.
And if there's anybody that deserves to win this, it's this young man right here. I promise you, there's not a better guy.
I don't know about that, but, you know, it's going to take a lot of luck, and hopefully things will go my way today.
Phil, a bachelor who plays with friends and family in his South Lake Tahoe home, has made a lot of luck for himself already.
Well, I'm still in the process of really figuring out what my life's all about right now. 4 years ago, I sold an internet company and made some money and decided to chuck it all to the wind, so to speak, and go traveling. And I backpacked through 50 countries on 6 continents over the course of about 2.5 years.
Here's a tough customer, Henry Nowakowski. Hometown, Frankfurt, Germany. Henry is all business and the only competitor to wear a coat and tie every day. John Inashima hangs on to seat 3. He's a tight player who picks his spots carefully. In seat 4, Juan Carlos Mortensen from Madrid, Spain, peeks out from under his lucky hat, fearing no one.
When I play, especially in one final table, I have to think I'm the best in the table. If I think somebody is better than me, I cannot win. You know, I have no fear with anybody.
Let's go!
All right already. That's Stan Schreier in seat 5. He's a semi-pro poker player with a business back home.
Back in Nebraska, my son and I own a car dealership. We sell Fords and Mazdas, and I'm out here having a good time playing, and my kids are working.
Mike Matiso commands seat 6. He's a full-time pro who plays big money games at Bellagio. And Mike can out-talk anybody.
Like you don't ever shut up. Come on, Phil.
Phil Hellmuth Jr. takes seat 7. Now, he's a former champion of the World Series of Poker, and no slouch himself in the sass department.
Not crying, just napping.
Dewey Tomko is in seat 8. He owns the Southern Dunes Golf and Country Club in Haines City, Florida. And he's been to the final table before. He finished 2nd in 1982. But Dewey's favorite game of chance isn't poker, it's golf.
When you have a putt, say for a couple $100,000, and you lose it, I mean, if you miss it, you're going to lose $100,000, and if you make it, you're going to win $100,000. It's exciting.
We'll take your word for it. And so, the stage is set. The 9 players at the final table of this World Series of Poker have been seated. Gentlemen, play cards. Gordon's boy Phil leaps from the gate with 3 quick and gutsy moves. Each time he goes all in putting his entire pot on the line. And each time, he wins the hand. A little too cocky for some of his playmates.
Slow down, you move too fast. If you want to frigging laugh.
All in means betting all of your chips on a single hand. If you go all in and win, you double your money by taking chips from a richer player. If you lose, you're out of the game.
Instead of using fists or knives or guns, poker players use their chips to sort of inflict punishment on one another. The chips are money, yes, but they're also a representation of how much power one is holding on to at that moment. If I've got this many chips, I'm a powerful guy. If I only have this many, I'm not. I'm weak. And so instead of using conventional weapons, poker players use their chips to manipulate and push people into corners and, in fact, beat them down.
The other weapon a player may use is his mouth. It isn't long before Phil Hellmuth begins taking his verbal shots.
Every hand someone raises, he puts his head down.
So we have to think.
Am I entitled to think or am I not entitled to think?
When you're sitting with the same 8 players or 9 players for 10 hours, and those are, at the moment, the only people standing between you and victory, even though you shouldn't take it personally, you often do start to take it personally. That's the guy who cost me my money. That's the guy who bluffed me out of a pot. That's the guy who got the lucky card out of the end.
Hey, Phil Hellmuth is the best player in the world. There's no doubt about that. Look at his track record. He's an amazing player. And I have a lot of respect for him. But bottom line is there's no reason to ever be rude to anyone at the table.
Doing it costs them. These guys are going to pull down like an
What happens to those tones, the younger guys? I don't understand why I'm the old school gambler, but I feel like, I don't know if they think that's an advantage of them, trying to psych somebody out or making all that noise. They stop playing poker and get personal. If I had been in their shoes, a guy like me would stop.
While some of the players run their mouths, Country quietly looks for cards and the position to play them. When he thinks the moment's right, and timing is everything in Texas Hold'em, Country acts.
First time I moved all in, I had rags. I hoped not to get called, and I didn't. That was rare since they called me and I'm done. I determined I still got the streak.
Chip position is the name of the game at the final table. If your chip count dwindles too low, you have to go all in to double your chips. Sometimes you have a good hand, other times you're forced to bluff. John Inishima is way low on chips and needs more badly. He calls all in early in this hand, after the players are dealt just their first 2 cards. Juan Carlos, with chips to spare, is up for the challenge. He calls Inishima's all in. And we're looking for the best 5-card hand. John was dealt a 10 and 5 of hearts. Juan Carlos has an ace and 9 of spades. From here, the dealer turns over cards they'll share. Both players can use any of them. From the 2 they were dealt and any shared cards, the best poker hand will win. 3 cards come up. Now John has a pair of 5s and Juan Carlos has 4 spades. 1 more spade and he'll have a flush that could win. The next deal adds a 3 to the shared cards. Now John has 2 pair, 3s and 5s. Juan Carlos needs help. The final shared card is a 9. It gives Juan Carlos 2 pair like John, but his 9s and 3s beats 5s and 3s. Wow! And just like that, Juan Carlos has beaten John and eliminated him from the tournament. Don't feel too bad for John, though. He's taken home almost 92 grand for the effort. And conducting sideline interviews for the paparazzi. The hallowed final 9 are now 8. And before the first fallen competitor's chair gets cold, the game gets hotter.
I'm going to move all in.
Mike says all in.
That makes my decision pretty easy.
Can you count it, please? Call, come on.
He's calling.
You called?
Called.
Mike hopes his pair of kings can hold up against Henry's jacks.
Please, God, don't let me get unlucky.
If so, he'll put a big dent in Henry's stack of chips. If not, Mike will be hitting the trail.
Blank.
the kings hold, and Mike is still alive, for now. Also still alive is this year's biggest underdog, Country Steve Reilly. He's a World Series of Poker rookie, but he's no green poker player. Back home, Country cares for his daughter Jessie, while his wife Tish is at work. Then after dinner, it's time for Texas Hold'em at Chumash Casino.
We have a deal. He can play poker all he wants, but he cannot use household money. He cannot take money from the bank account. He has recycled bottles and cans before to get money to go play in a poker tournament, because I won't give him household money.
Seems Tish isn't much of a poker fan.
I don't gamble. I don't even play quarter slots. I don't even play nickel slots. I hate it. I can't stand gambling, but that's just me. But I'll support him no matter what he does. That doesn't mean I have to actually like it.
Not easy being a gambler's wife.
And some days, it's not easy being a gambler.
Almost any no-limit poker player looks down and sees 2 jacks, and they get a knot in their stomach. So do I, and especially at that table. But I was so short-chipped at that point, I only had 2 moves, either fold the hand or move all in.
Country puts it all on the line, opting for all in, and Stan Schreier calls. Stan's ace of spades is strengthened by 2 more spades. Then a 4th spade and a 5th. Stan's flush crushes Country's pair of jacks. Crank up the Harley. It's time to head home.
You know, if I would have came in 40th, I'd probably be more happy than I am right now. Making it to the final table and busting out 8th is really disappointing. When you make it that far, you feel that you can go all the way.
But almost $120,000 for 8th place should soften the blow. Not bad for his first time at bat in the World Series. The 7 remaining players battle on in the ultimate contest of skill and luck.
You have to get very lucky to win the championship. If you don't do that, you're not going to win no matter how good you are.
It's not electricity that powers all these lights. It's not even money. It's luck. Without the promise of that one big jackpot, no one would spin a wheel, pull a lever, or roll the dice. The chance at a life-changing payout is worth it, right? It's chance that built Las Vegas and keeps it alive. Vegas gets in your blood and keeps you coming back, even when a gamble goes south. Most of the players in this year's World Series of Poker know what it's like to lose big. Over 600 of them forked over $10,000 to enter the tournament. And now, there are only 7 players left. Lucky 7. 5 hours into this final table marathon, Mike Matusow is hoping for a little luck of his own. But Henry Nowakowski calls Mike's bluff. Mike was trying to bluff the table with a 7 and a 2. The pitiful hand cracks up the table. And the move cost Mike a ton of chips. But as always, he has an explanation.
Well, after I showed that 7 deuce, I was able to do whatever I wanted to. They were just coming after me. They were picking up. And I'm telling you right now, I never bluffed one time after that 7 deuce. Okay, I had them set up, which was my goal to set them up. Now y'all never gonna know what I have when I move all in. All I gotta do is get a couple chips back, and we're gonna have a little party.
Evidently so. Mike goes all in against Phil Gordon and snags the win. It sets Gordon back by $800,000. The fans are loving the show, and the players are getting serious.
I try go inside my opponent, and I try to think what he think, what he wanna do. I try the psychology.
While Juan Carlos brushes up on his psychology, Phil Gordon goes all in again, this time against Henry. Phil's hand holds up, and he's on the rebound. Both Phils are jumping. The other Phil, Phil Hellmuth, smells blood and takes his own shot at Henry.
Here we go. It's jacks, Henry.
Two jacks, Henry shows 2 7s.
Phil has a pair of jacks. Henry has a pair of 7s.
We have a 10, a king, and an ace for the Royal Flush Draw.
He's only got 1 out.
Jacks, number 4.
7 of diamonds. He's only out.
When the dealing is done, Henry's pair of kings and 7s lose to Hellmuth's kings and jacks, and Henry's out. The German gentleman made a few new friends and $179,000 new dollars for his efforts.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
And so, it's down to 6 at the final table of the World Series of Poker. Phil Gordon, Phil Hellmuth, Mike Matusow, Dewey Tomko, Juan Carlos Mortensen, and Stan Schreier. Phil Gordon goes all in against Phil Hellmuth. Gordon draws a third 6 to beat Hellmuth's pair of 9s. Hellmuth loses a lot of chips, but is still in the game.
And let there be no doubt, the world champion had me 5-1 odds, okay? I got lucky.
Players are going all in every few minutes, and someone's going to get hurt. Juan Carlos has more chips than Mike, so his all-in means he's safe. Even if Mike takes the challenge, Mike decides against it, and the cards are revealed to show that Juan Carlos had nothing. He bluffed Mike's shorts off. Everybody's in awe.
Because I know he's bluffing. He had a hand. It's not really good hand. When he said raise the second time, I know, because in the board, in the moves, the hands, I know it. I played with him before. I know he had no really good hand.
3 minutes later, Phil Hellmuth makes a gutsy move against Juan Carlos that pays off, but the Spaniard still has the chip lead. Next, Dewey cripples Mike with a successful all-in move and doubles up his stake, eating terribly into Mike's. Now vulnerable with hardly any chips, Mike makes a stand against Phil Hellmuth.
So Phil Hellmuth says call. Phil Hellmuth shows 2 kings. Mike shows 2 8s.
What am I going to do? It's so unlucky.
Turn is a 10 of clubs.
Good job, Phil.
River is a deuce of hearts.
With no help from the dealer, Mike gets booted out of the tournament by Hellmuth's kings. Even though he wins over $239,000 for 6th place, losing is a hard blow for Mike.
The truth of the matter is I told them and my friends and stuff, and we were swimming in my pool last night relaxing, I said, anything less than first and I'll be devastated. You could be the best player in the world and never get back here, ever, because it's so big now. I mean, there's next 613 players this year, there'll be 700 next year.
In years past, there has often been a big secret hidden from the fans. At this point, it's not unusual for the remaining players to strike an inside deal.
Very often, the last 3 or 4, or maybe 5, will actually strike a deal where they split up the prize money amongst themselves. And everyone has to agree on the deal, otherwise there's no possible deal. And I actually don't think we're going to see any deal in the main event this year, because there's just so much prestige in winning the event. Everyone's going to want to win it. And also, if you come in second, I mean, you're going to get a lot of money.
Judging by the look on Phil Hellmuth's face, there'll be no deals this year. He sets his sights on Juan Carlos.
I'm going all in.
With the cards they were dealt and the first 3 shared cards, both already have a pair of queens. Juan Carlos holding Queen Jack and Hellmuth Queen 10. A jack gives Juan Carlos 2 pair. Hellmuth's only chance now is a king for a straight. But it doesn't come. His strong bid to repeat as champ comes up short by 4 chairs, and Phil Hellmuth leaves the building. Juan Carlos Mortensen has taken out the favorite.
I want to arrasar. I want to rush the table.
Shrewdly, Dewey Tomko picks this moment with Juan Carlos on a high to attack. Unlike most at this final table, all in is a play that Dewey doesn't usually like to make.
He said all in. I said, oh, I'm in for a war now. But anyhow, He wasn't afraid of his chips. He's a real aggressive player. And I tell you, he actually reminds me a little bit of how I used to play when I was his age.
Dewey's ace high takes the hand, and he doubles up his chips. They're beginning to circle like sharks round Juan Carlos. Even the most unlikely of aggressors, Phil Gordon.
I would not consider myself a professional poker player. I don't use poker as a source of income. I use it more for entertainment and something to do.
Phil likes to get his kicks.
Yeah, anyone who comes to visit who wants to go swimming in the pool, first thing you have to do is jump off this 12 or 13 foot banister. And it's really easy. You just go 1, 2, 3.
Gordon takes a leap of another kind and challenges Juan Carlos with another all-in.
I'm all in.
Phil Gordon is his stack.
Juan Carlos calls.
Call. Carlos, call.
Pair of queens for Juan Carlos. Phil needs to pair his ace at least.
I'm only a 35-65 underdog on that hand, and if I win, if I'm able to make the hit an ace on the river or a 3 or an 8, I think, I'm the chip leader in the tournament, and people have to come to me, and I probably have a very, very good chance of winning the event.
But Phil doesn't get his ace, and Juan Carlos is flush in clubs. Phil Gordon is out, but not down. How does fourth place feel?
That's jazz. That's jazz right there. 400,000 I didn't have before, and experience at a World Series final table. What more could you ask for?
There's no rest at the final table in the World Series of Poker. 10 minutes after Gordon is knocked out, Stan Schreier makes a play. Again, the play is all in. And this time, Dewey calls. It stands Queen 10 against Dewey's pair of kings. A 9 or a king will give Stan a winning straight, but help doesn't come. Unfazed by the high drama, Stan picks up $699,000 for his third place finish.
I've been in business all my life. That's pressure. This isn't pressure. This is I'm having time of my life.
In one incredible hour of action, 4 players bit the dust. And now there are 2. Dewey Tomko and Juan Carlos Mortensen. Gambling in Las Vegas usually means playing against a machine or attempting to outsmart the house. Slot machines and blackjack dealers don't challenge you to raise stakes, so gambling here is mostly just you against the odds. Rarely does it mean going head-to-head with another gambler. Unless, of course, you're talking about the World Series of Poker. On day 5, it's the final round, and only 2 players remain. Only one will walk away with $1.5 million. It's an event that looks more like a championship prize fight than a card game. The fans fill the arena. Officials sit ringside. Experts give the play-by-play.
These guys are the best of the best. They're playing an absolutely, incredible game right now. They're just playing, better than I've ever seen any players play.
In the middle of the poker hall, under the lights, the challengers square off. In this corner is the veteran Dewey Tomko. He's cool because he's been here before. In the other corner is a newcomer, the Spaniard, Juan Carlos Mortensen. Every day before tournament play, Juan Carlos has been swimming, focusing.
It's better for me in the morning, 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, I go to the pool. I start swimming, thinking what I do in the next day.
Playing chess with friends also helps Juan Carlos keep his mind sharp. But it was his wife, Cecilia, who gave him the heart to get this far.
She's my support, she's my friend, she's my wife, and she's my love. I tell her, if I win this tournament is for you.
Dewey Tomko also has family motivation. After finishing second in the 1982 World Series of Poker, he walked away from poker at the top of his game. His reason? He wanted to spend more time with his kids.
It wasn't really a hard decision. Do you want to have fame and glory and money, or do you want to watch your kids grow up? You know, mine was simple. I just stopped and went to every Little League game, every Little League practice, and for 15 years. Now they're all grown. They're all out of high school. One's out of college. I'm getting back in the game. I'm out of boredom, to tell you the truth.
During this year's series, Dewey was proud to have one of his now grown-up kids in the audience.
My kid was out there, Derek was out there, and he learned how to play poker. And I used to, he asked me every question how to play every hand. I know how to play every hand. And I haven't been doing that the last, years, because you've got to have stamina and patience. So I decided to play every hand in that tournament the way, if he asked me, the correct way to play it. Never varied from it. And you see what happened.
When the tournament is down to the last two players, the $1.5 million prize for first place moves from the casino cage to the final table. As is the tradition at Binion's Casino, the prize money is carried in a simple cardboard box and escorted by armed guards. With the cash in sight to spur them on, the two begin to spar. Dewey tries to avoid any big blows.
I let him win the little pots. I was trying to give him a little bit of false image. Everybody got a plan. I was giving him a false image. He could take a pot away from me any time.
Juan Carlos drags a couple of pots, while Dewey holds on for better cards. The Spaniard has a huge chip lead, but Dewey is confident he can make up that ground if he could just get a couple good cards.
When you're playing Hold'em, you wish for two aces. I mean, that's the best hand. And I'm saying, boy, I can't wait till this happens to me.
Right about now would be a good time. Dewey peeks at his cards and plays it cool. He raises the pot $100,000. Juan Carlos watches carefully and puts in his 100 grand. The dealer turns over a 3 of clubs, 10 of clubs, and a jack of diamonds. Both players must feel pretty good about their hands because Juan Carlos bets another $100,000. Dewey thinks carefully and raises him $400,000. Then Juan Carlos throws in a surprise. He goes all in. In this case, making the challenge with an amount equal to Dewey's entire pot. If Juan Carlos thought he could use his massive stack of chips to bully Dewey into folding, he was wrong. Dewey makes his stand and calls Juan Carlos. The crowd jumps to their feet as Dewey reveals his hidden cards. Aces. Juan Carlos can't believe it. Dewey's aces look much stronger than his king and queen of clubs. All the two players can do now is hold their breath and wait for the next two cards.
At this point in time, it's a certainty Dewey has the best hand. We all know that.
The next card is a 3 of diamonds. This helps Dewey because it gives him a second pair. It doesn't help Juan Carlos at all. Statistically, Juan Carlos is now a 3-to-1 underdog. The final card? It's a 9. This gives Juan Carlos a king-9 straight, which beats Dewey's aces. Dewey didn't mope about it. He pulled in over $1 million for second place, and he was all smiles as he congratulated the winner.
Hey, you did a good job. You played great. Hey. I finally got 2 aces, and the first time I got 2 aces in 5 days, I got broke with it.
And he was out the next morning at 6 a.m. losing 50 grand on the golf course. Of course, he was a little tired.
I remind everybody while I'm on camera, just because I won, the strokes are staying the same. Nobody's getting more than they're supposed to get.
As for Juan Carlos, well, he enjoys the moment.
It's $1.5 million kiss over here.
A little mugging for the cameras, and a well-deserved show of emotion.
This is Carlos, right? Viva España!
After 5 grueling days of poker in the toughest tournament on the planet, he accepts the winner's bracelet. He outplayed, outbluffed, and outlasted over 600 of the world's best poker players. But for all those players whose dreams ended with the turn of a card, there's always next year. Same time, same place, and most likely, same faces.
Everyone who gets knocked out of this tournament, I can tell you one thing. One thing that's on their mind is, I can't wait till next year. This is such a fun one.
If poker is your game, there's just nothing that compares to the World Series of Poker.
The World Series of Poker. the power. I need to 3 more. I want 3 more. I wanna try.